Hello, good evening, one and all. I am Dr. Komaldeep Kaur Bedi, Senior Consultant Ophthalmology at Healing Hospital, Chandigarh. Today we'll be talking about cataract and glaucoma. What is cataract, what is glaucoma, and we'll also discuss some of the myths and the facts related to both. First, we'll talk about cataract, and if the time permits, then we'll move on to discuss some of the facts about glaucoma as well. First of all, what is cataract? Cataract is a clouding of the lens. Due to the denaturation of the lens proteins or fluid collection, the lens starts becoming whitish in color. When we are young, our crystalline lens, which focuses light rays onto the retina, is crystal clear, just like a mirror, so that light rays reach retina uninterrupted, uninhibited, and we can see well. Due to the aging process and other causes as well, the denaturation of proteins occurs in the crystalline lens and imbibition of water also happens, due to which the clouding of the lens happens and it inhibits the light rays from reaching the retina. So we see less clearly. Just imagine if you have a clear mirror as lens is there in a young age, and you paint white patches over that mirror. Now you see your image through that mirror. How do you see your image now? How is the quality of image now? Will you be able to see as clearly as through a clear mirror? Same way, when the cataract develops, our image quality decreases. The common symptoms when the cataract develop is increased glare, intolerance to light, foggy vision, misty vision. There may be a decreased contrast sensitivity. There may be fading of colors. You may not see as bright as colors you used to see before. Sometimes few people may even experience polyopia. That means they may see multiple images of one single object through especially one eye. So all these symptoms point towards cataract being developed. The most common cause for cataract development is aging process. That's why we also call it as senile cataract. And it's the most common cause of preventable blindness in the elderly people. The symptoms will that they have regained their sight, and they may attribute this to maybe usage of some kind of drops or eye exercises or their lifestyle, healthy habits, and distant vision starts little compromising. And the age is also like that. They are not very active socially outside and they are limited to home, reading, or so vision starts improving when the cataract starts developing, especially in the nuclear part for the ear. So they think now their vision is improving. So on the contrary, it is happening because of the cataract. Also, another symptom when the nuclear cataract develops is many people who are already wearing myopic glasses, minus powered glasses, and their number has been stable for many years, and suddenly their refractive correction, their myopic number will start increasing. That is another pointer that they might be developing a nuclear cataract. These are few of the symptoms of cataract. There could be some other causes apart from aging also for the development of the cataract. When there is some definite cause, we usually call it as a secondary cataract or a complicated cataract. The most common amongst these is use of steroids, medication for any problem. Like if you have some skin problem, you have asthma, you have some chronic renal disease or any illness which requires the use of steroids on a long-term basis, you can develop cataract as a side effect. And a particular type of cataract when we use steroids for long term is posterior subcapsular cataract. In this, the cataract starts at the posterior most membrane, the capsule, the posterior capsule of the lens. So even if the cataract is very small, it will cause the maximum disturbance in the vision. So even if the cataract is little, one has to consider a cataract surgery for such patients. Other important thing which I want to highlight about cataract is it never causes permanent or irreversible reduction in the vision. If your retina is fine, your optic nerve is functioning well, you will always regain the full vision after the cataract surgery. But if due to any reason, if your retina is damaged due to any disease or your optic nerve function is compromised, then even after cataract surgery, the visual recovery may be suboptimal. So it all depends upon your health of the retina and the optic nerve. Also, many a times when the cataract is advanced, we are, as you cannot see well, doctor also sometimes unable to see inside your eye clearly and tell you if there is a problem in the retina or not. Of course, there are few ways of knowing it, but in advanced cataract, you cannot really tell whether the retina is fine or not. But still sometimes, even if we suspect some retinal disease or optic nerve dysfunction, we have to operate, we have to remove the cataract so that your eye doctor can see inside your eye clearly and treat the underlying cause for the poor vision. Now we'll discuss about some of the myths related to the cataract. Many times people come and ask me, is there any eye drops which can cure my cataract? Or is there any eye drops which can stop the progression of the cataract? The fact is, there is no scientific data or evidence till date that any eye drops is effective in curing or even halting the progression of the cataract. So once you get the cataract, it is bound to progress, but the rate of progression varies widely among the individuals. In many people, the cataract may not progress or may very little progress over many years. And at the same time, in another subset of people, it may progress very fast. So in people who are using some kind of eye drops and cataract is slowly progressing, they might think that eye drops are working for them. So actually it may be the differential rate of progression, which depends upon so many factors. It depends upon your metabolic milieu of your body, whether you are diabetic or not. There are so many other factors. So once you have a cataract, visually significant cataract, that disturbs your daily chores, the quality of vision is compromised, and day-to-day life you are experiencing problems due to the cataract. The only solution is surgery. So there's no other treatment. This is the myth I want to first clear. There is no other treatment for cataract apart from surgery. In the surgery, we remove your cataractous lens and replace it with a new crystal clear youthful intraocular lens. We commonly refer to as IOL. Another thing I've come across, many people think that they should get the surgery done once their cataract is fully ripened or mature. This is again a very big myth. Rather, you should never allow your cataract to get fully ripened or mature. The reason being, when your cataract is fully ripened or it has become very hard, it becomes very challenging procedure-wise, technically, for the surgeon to operate upon such kind of cataracts. And the chances of visual recovery also are delayed. So cataract should never be allowed to go to that stage when it becomes challenging. Another important thing is when your cataract becomes fully ripened or mature, the accuracy with which we can calculate the power of intraocular lens which we are going to implant inside your eye after removal of the cataract is less. The accuracy with which its power can be calculated also comes down. So that's another reason cataract is always best operated at an immature stage. Of course, you can plan about your surgery at your convenience. It's not a dire emergency. You can always plan about it. Many times I have come across when patients come for eye checkup and eye specialist or optometrist, any eye care professional, if asked a detailed systemic history from the patients, many a times patient feels that it's unnecessary. Why the doctor is asking so many questions? I have just come for an eye exam, and what doctor has to, know about my medications I am using, any other disease I am suffering from? My dear friends, it's very important since eye is a part of the body. Any medication you take for any kind of problem has an impact on the eyes as well. More so important is to give a detailed systemic history to your eye doctor about diabetes, hypertension, any cardiac illness, asthma, or whatever any medications you are using. You have to tell your eye doctor in detail. To give you one example, many a times elderly males have some prostate problem and they use a particular kind of drug to improve their urinary symptoms known as Urimax. If they are using that medication for long term, it has an impact on the dilating ability of your pupil, your iris muscle. It affects the iris muscle. So your pupil will not dilate. At the same time, when we operate upon such patients in whom already iris is affected because of that drug, there is a higher chance of a particular kind of complication happening during cataract surgery, which we commonly term to as IFIS, intraoperative floppy iris syndrome. So if your doctor knows about your systemic status, about the drugs you are on, he or she can plan the surgery in a much better way. Anticipating the problems, he can plan the things in much better way. So you should always give a detailed history of any medication which you are taking for any other illness to your eye doctor. Cataract surgery, many people think it's a minor surgery. I don't need to be very rigid about my control of blood sugar, blood pressure, etc. Although cataract is a daycare procedure these days, but it's not a minor surgery. It's as important as major surgery on any other part of the body. So you need to have a very good strict control of your diabetes and hypertension. If your diabetes is uncontrolled, you may be at a higher risk of having eye infection or even endophthalmitis, which may be very devastating for the eye. If your BP is uncontrolled, there is a risk of development of many complications while doing cataract surgery. If any focus of infection is there in your body, like any dental infection, anything else, it has to be treated before undergoing cataract surgery. Once you decide and get the cataract surgery done, then many people think they cannot sit in light or do their normal activities for a prolonged period, which is actually not true. These days we operate with very sophisticated modern techniques phacoemulsification, in which the incision size is very small and the healing happens very fast. So you don't need to have much restriction of your day-to-day activities. You can even sit in light on the very same day of surgery. No need to sit in the dark and all. You can have a normal diet even on the day of surgery. You can have chapati, and chewing hard food is not going to have any impact. And within a few days time, you will get back to your normal activities. So these are few of the myths and facts about cataract, and we'll take up simultaneously few questions also. Jessie Kelsey is asking, can cataract come back after surgery? Cataract once operated is done forever. It cannot come back. The only one thing which can happen after, it's a one-time treatment. Cataract cannot come back. But the posterior most layer of the lens, which we term as posterior capsule, we preserve of your original lens, over which we place the intraocular lens, the new lens. With time, every cell of your body is growing and dividing. With time, after a few years' time, few of the cells on that membrane sometimes divide and your lens becomes thickened, which we normally term to as posterior capsular opacification or after cataract. But it's not the original cataract which has come back, it's few of the cells which have proliferated. And treatment for that, Jessie, it is very simple. It's a OPD based procedure. It takes just 5 minutes. We polish your posterior capsule, remove those thickened cells and clear your visual axis. So you don't need to have to worry that once cataract is operated, it can never come back. Amrinder Singh is asking me, should we get cataract? When should we get cataract surgery done? This is a very good question. These days, any cataract, it depends upon the quality of vision, your lifestyle, your visual demands, visual needs. Any cataract at any stage can be operated safely. So if it is significantly affecting your daily chores, your quality of vision, your day-to-day activities, even an early cataract can be removed. So it all depends how much you are disturbed visually with your cataract. If few more questions we can take. In the meantime, then I'll move on to our next topic, glaucoma. कैटरेक्ट को हम हिंदी में सफ़ेद मोतिया भी कहते हैं. इसे सफ़ेद इसलिए कहा जाता है बिकॉज जब ये पूरा राइपन हो जाता है, व्हेन इट बिकम्स फुली मैच्योर, इट बिकम्स एज वाइट एज अ पर्ल, यू नो. So that is why it's called moti, सफ़ेद मोती, right? Now we'll talk about glaucoma. Many people confuse both the terms, cataract as well as glaucoma, and they interchangeably use these two terms. As I told you, cataract is सफ़ेद मोतिया. Glaucoma, on the other hand, is called kala motiya. Kala is usually we relate something bad, very ominous, you know. That is why it's kala motiya. And actually it is bad for your eyes. That is why it is called kala motiya. Glaucoma is a disease of the optic nerve head. Optic nerve is the nerve which carries information from your eye, from your retina to your brain to process the visual information, and that is how your eye functions, you know. So glaucoma is a disease which affects your optic nerve head. Cataract, as I told you, is the clouding of the lens, and it stops the light rays from entering and focusing on the retina. On the other hand, glaucoma affects your nerve, optic nerve. That is the difference between cataract and glaucoma. Another important thing is, as I told you earlier also, cataract never causes any permanent or irreversible loss of vision. On the other hand, glaucoma always causes irreversible loss of vision. If it is undiagnosed, untreated, left untreated for a long time, undiagnosed, it can permanently damage your vision. Whatever vision you have lost is not going to come back by any means. It's gone forever. That is why we always impress upon that glaucoma has to be diagnosed and treated earlier, at a very early stage. Now I'll tell you how the glaucoma develops. Just think the eye as a sink in which the tap is open and there is a drainage pipe. As the fluid is coming from the tap, there is a fluid being produced inside the eye which is called as aqueous humor. It is continuously flowing or circulating inside your eye and getting drained. So now think, if the tap is open and drainage mechanism is working well, there will be no stagnation of water in your sink. But due to any reason, if drainage pipe is blocked, but tap is open, the fluid will start accumulating in the sink. Same way, in glaucoma, the drainage mechanism is affected. The drainage of this fluid, which I termed it as aqueous humor, is affected. But there is a continuous production. So tap is open, drainage is blocked. So fluid starts getting accumulated in the eye. And it starts exerting fluid pressure inside the eye. This pressure, which we commonly term as intraocular pressure or IOP, which we commonly termed it as IOP. So once this fluid pressure starts building inside the eye, it starts affecting your eye structures, the delicate eye structures like optic nerve. Because of the pressure, increased pressure, the cells of the retina, optic nerve, they start getting compromised. The blood flow starts getting compromised and the neurons start dying. Whenever there is a ischemic damage in the body, neuronal damage is there, that damage is permanent. Just like your high blood pressure, if left untreated for a long period of time, it can cause complications, problems. Same way, if your eye pressure, if left untreated for a long time, it can cause problem in your vision. Glaucoma also, we call it as a silent killer of sight, a silent thief of sight. ये आपकी विजन को, थीफ इज चोर, ये आपके विजन को धीरे 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 साइलेंटली चुराता है और आपको इसका पता भी नहीं होता. Somebody has stolen in your house and you don't even know that stealing has happened. That is why it's called silent killer of sight. Because in the early stages, glaucoma is asymptomatic. You may not be having any symptoms. It affects your side vision first, and both eyes get affected at different times. Both eyes may not get affected at the same time. One eye may be absolutely normal, so you may not even feel any symptom. Most of the times, it is only during your routine visit to your eye doctor, during your routine eye checkup, when your eye doctor checks your health of the eye in detail, that he or she raises a suspicion that, look, you may be having glaucoma. I have a doubt you may be having a glaucoma. Once your eye doctor raises any doubt about glaucoma, it should send an alarm bell and you should act upon it. You should not ignore that, because as I told you, if glaucoma is there and it is causing damage, you are not going to get back that vision which is lost. So you have to act fast. If there is any suspicion, or if your glaucoma is diagnosed, you have to act fast. You must get confirmed with whatever tests your doctor advises, depending upon whatever he or she suspects. You should undergo those tests to confirm. Glaucoma is mainly of two types. Of course, the commonest is the age. Aging is the commonest risk factor. As you age above 60, 70, chances of getting glaucoma also increases. It is basically of two types. As I told you, the fluid which is circulating in the eye, it leaves the eye from a structure called angle. So depending upon whether your angle is open or closed, we differentiate broadly into two subtypes: open angle glaucoma and narrow angle or closed angle glaucoma. Of course, your doctor will do few tests to differentiate between the two types. This differentiation is important because the treatment slightly varies for the two subtypes. For the open angle, we normally treat with the eye drops. But if your angles are narrow or you are having closed angle glaucoma, along with eye drops, we need to do some kind of laser treatment. We need to make a small hole in your iris to provide an alternative route for the fluid to flow, which we normally call as laser iridotomy. So that differentiation is important to do. Now we'll discuss about few of the risk factors who are more prone. Of course, as I told you, aging is one of the risk factors. As you age, the chances of developing glaucoma are there. People who have a positive family history, suppose your parent is having glaucoma, then you are at a higher risk of developing glaucoma, 7 to 8 times higher risk compared to a person who does not have a positive family history. So those who have a positive family history should get regularly screened after the age of 40, maybe once in a year, twice in or maybe once in 2 years, as your eye doctor advises. Regularly they should get screening for glaucoma. As I told you, it will be asymptomatic in early stages, and we have to act fast. We have to diagnose it at an early stage so that we can help you preserve your vision. Another important thing about glaucoma is it's a lifelong disease. It's just like diabetes or hypertension. You cannot cure diabetes or hypertension. You can only take medicines to control. You can modify your lifestyle. You can take medicines to control your blood sugar and blood pressure. But you cannot cure the disease. Same way for glaucoma, we cannot cure it. We can control it. We can prevent the visual loss from happening by treating you. We can control it. So once you are started on treatment for glaucoma, many people think putting the eye drops for a few months or for a few years will cure the disease. It's not like that. Once you are started on treatment, the treatment has to be lifelong. It's a lifelong commitment of you to your doctor. And it's like a mutual action, you as well as your doctor both are equally important. It's like both of you are partners in retaining your vision. So as the role of doctor is important, same way your role as a patient is important in regularly using the medications, not missing the medications, regularly going for the follow-ups as your eye doctor advises you, for the checking of your eye pressure, and also at the same time to know, even if you are using the medications regularly, whether your disease is stable or progressing. For that, we do some specific kind of test which we call as perimetry or visual field testing, which is done regularly, maybe 4 to 6 month interval, depending upon how your glaucoma is behaving. Whether it is a slow progressing glaucoma or a fast progressing glaucoma. So your eye doctor will tell you the frequency of the examinations and the follow-ups you have to come. Most important thing is you should not miss the medications. You should regularly use the medications eye drops prescribed. Another important thing, once the glaucoma is diagnosed, many people ask, can you do surgery for glaucoma? So as I told you, for cataract, there are no eye drops. The only treatment for cataract is surgical treatment. On the other hand, for glaucoma, we always treat the medical therapy first. It's mostly treated with the eye drops and if needed for few patients with the laser therapy. Surgery is usually in glaucoma done as a last resort in a very advanced stages. If your glaucoma is progressing very fast, it's not getting controlled with the medications, or the side effect of medication is intolerable. These are few of the scenarios when we need to consider a glaucoma surgery, not as a primary thing. So this is the main important difference between glaucoma and cataract. Cataract is treated surgically, glaucoma is treated medically first. Another thing is, as I told you, cataract surgery once done is done forever. You are not going to get the cataract back again. Glaucoma surgery, on the other hand, is a very challenging procedure, very challenging surgery, right? So that is the difference. It's done as a last resort, and many a times even after surgery, few of the patient might be needing to use eye drops even after surgery. So dear friends, I want to give this message to all of you that do take care of your eyes and stay safe during these tough times of COVID pandemic. Use regular precautions, wash your hands frequently, use face masks, and of course you have to go for your regular treatment as well, and you can be in regular touch with your doctor through telephonic consultations, or if there is an emergency, of course you can visit and take an appointment. Do take good care of yourself and your eyes. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you for the participation. ठीक है?